Welcome back to Infraspace. My name is Nilaus, and we are here in the third episode of our, let's call it a let's try. I don't think I want to call it let's play yet. Let's play kind of implies that we want to get to the end of it and see the whole thing completed. Let's try and sort of replay as much as there is interest for. So I'll be judging the forward progress on how much fun I have and how much interest there is for me to continue. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at two features that are super awesome and two features that are absolutely horrendous. And then based on that, we're going to see if which one weighs heavily. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. We're going to get into trains and districts. Those are the things that I think are super amazing. And then we'll dive into the stuff that that I think is just really holding this game back a lot. Right, let's start by just having a look at some of the things I've cleaned up between sessions. I've made this thing here. These are now working at 148% efficiency because I sort of put them into space between the electronic circuits. You can then say, well, the electronic circuits are not getting any bonus. Yeah, well, you can't have it all, can you? We are going to need a lot of steel for trains, so I made this little steel factory here, and I'm going to use this example to illustrate how districts work. So I've also removed some of the other steel. Districts are basically drawn on the map with these little blobs. And first they don't do anything. Then it's just like this area. You can sort of also exclude things from it, or you can continue to work on it and overwrite something else. So it's really neat. You can also just remove it again if you don't like it. So what does each district do? Well, it's kind of unintuitive at first, but it kind of makes sense. And I really wish there would be more indicators here, because right now I'm like, I wonder if they do anything. They actually do. If you click on the filter iron ore, then you only get the districts that have iron ore as something. So this one basically says this district here is exclusively exporting iron ore to this part. That means this area can get iron ore from other locations, but this one can only export iron ore to this location. So the only iron ore that can go is in here. It's maybe not the greatest idea to do that, but this is how I do it in this case. Likewise, if we look at carbon, then I'm saying the carbon generated here can only go in here. So this carbon will not go anywhere else that needs carbon. It'll be dedicated to this. But it also means that if we look at oxygen, I don't have a filter for this. So oxygen generated here can go anywhere. Actually, that's probably not a complete solution, because we would then need to get the oxygen from here into somewhere useful. So I'm just gonna hook that up there. Now the oxygen is part of the network, and used a stupid amount of steel for that. So what this means is that I have a little concrete factory. This one has a pretty good efficiency for 148 for the middle one, because it's close to a lot of other things here. So that's and then it'll just be putting in here, getting us a lot of steel that we need moving forward. So that's kind of what I've done. Also, we have like the same idea here, just getting a little bit of synergy here. These are working at 100%, these are working at 140, so at least something is getting the bonus. And we have made room for this will be our city moving forward. And then we can get into the part that is about trains, and also about the working a bit more on synergies and districts as well. So that's a little bit about the districts. Over here, I want to build something. We have the next stuff that we want to look at. If we want to see that we want these to build, we have parks nearby, but parks are not going to do anything unless we have computers. So computers is going to be the topic of today. That's going to be the thing that we build, a computer factory. If we look at the oh no, I shouldn't build them down here. All right, so the computer factory needs, it's on an 80-second cycle. It needs some electronics, and it needs some microchips. So basically, it actually is the way that you can build something like this. It'll be a pretty good ratio, and then it just means I need iron, copper, sand, and aluminium inbound. So those are all things that we can kind of get. And then let's get to one of the things that is, maybe it's actually only one feature that's really horrible, but this part here, you can see already now there are 4 people assigned here. 4 people assigned here means 4 plus 4 plus 4. They're not going to do anything. They can't get anywhere done because they don't have roads, but they're still, that draws out 12 more jobs from our total supply. That means I need to, if I do a design work, then I can't design it in bigger scale than what I need right now, because then I'll be allocating too many people to work on the computer factory. So if I build it twice as big as I need, which would be how you always want to build it, then I allocate twice as many people as I need. That's gonna overstrain our available jobs. We have 1,172, and we have 900. So I can only put 200 people in jobs, and if I put more than 200 people in, then everything else starts working at lower utilization. Instead of the 100%, they start decreasing. And as they start decreasing, then we don't have enough oxygen, we don't have enough home appliance, we don't have enough all the things that we need here. And that means they will start decreasing, and then we have less population, and they will leave, and you know, all that thing, and it just spirals into a negative loop. So you can't build bigger than you need. You can't even design bigger than you need. I can't even build like this, because this is already drawing out resources. Right now it doesn't matter, as long as you're lower than your available, then that's fine. But that's the one part that I think is insanely detrimental to the longevity of this game. It's that simple. The other thing is that when you have a population here, then a very big part of the population is actually going to feed into sustaining the population. So if I increase the population, here's another thing. If I can't control the population growth, it's just if I build something, they will come. I mean, that's sometimes good, but that's not really great if I just want to say, this is going to be my city, can I just lay it down and then not have people move in because I cap it at, let's say, 1,500 because that's what I can sustain? I can't do that. I'll have to sort of build the population as I want it, and then just accept that there will be people moving in. And if they move in, then that also means that they need supplies. And if they need supplies, then that's going to be, then I need to also allocate them to actually do stuff. And that's just kind of gets into a really bad loop where you end up just being forced to do things because the population is growing. And the population is growing, that means you need to expand every single feeder production here for the population. And again, it's the same process. It's as the other one that I mentioned under the big disadvantage, is that you're lacking controls. You're simply lacking controls of controlling the population, saying that will have a maximum of X population, and you need a way to control the production. So you say, I only want to have, I can build all these, but maybe I want to disable this. So please fix if this game should have any longevity. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to build a big system down here. We have new roads. We have some 6-lane roads. They are pretty damn amazing. Also super expensive. So that's probably not what we want to do. What we do want is we want to build a little train, because why not? So let's start by making a train station. It's just going to be a small train station. Here it'll have 2 train lines in. I guess we can increase it, improve it if we need it, but for now that's going to be what we want to build here. This is inbound, this is outbound. This will be a train station that drops off the computers in this factory. So let's do it like this. Then we have a road here. And then the question is, shouldn't we make, because this road down here is probably going to be, that was interesting, probably be one of the more busy ones. So let's bump that up. There. Because that's going to be busy ferrying things from here into that location. So we'll get that done. Other things, this is inbound, this is inbound. We can just take this one as well. I don't think I need it. Oops. There. These other ones, they are going to be inbound to the station, but I won't be building anything into the station. Then we can take all of this out because I don't actually need it right now, I think. And reclaim some concrete. Yay. And then we're building outside of our grid pattern. That's fine, because this is going to be our city and we don't have a city over here. So we have copper, we have iron, we have aluminium. That's why I think this is an excellent place for us to build a little factory. How are we going to build the factory? Let's start by making a train station and then work from there. And this will be something like this. I don't know. Let's build like this. Here. Right, so we are going to have now, this is going to be inbound. I will then again take a bigger part here. That'll be our inbound. And then we need to make a design around this. And let's also get something on the side, and we're going to build it, but we are also not going to build it because I can't build the whole thing because of what I just stated, that if I build it, they will actually be allocated. So as you can see, as soon as I build this computer factory here, I allocate people to it. And there. I want to make sure that they actually hit the top and the bottom one. And then I have one-way roads. They are going to be inbound here and inbound here. I don't actually, I think actually I want inbound roads here. One-way roads. How do I change them? Can't remember. I know that I can. Reverse road. There. Yes. They're now pointing inwards. So I'll have stuff coming out on the outside and then moving in. Great. We're going to make a little build here. Not going to make it very big. That one and that one. So it's going to be 4. We are going to get some microchip factories in. There and there. There and here. And some green circuits in. I'm trying to work on the synergies. Synergies only serve one purpose. It's very weird, actually. They only serve one purpose, and that purpose is to lower the amount of staff used. And like the efficiency doesn't really matter from anything except if this is working at this one is working at, let's say, 150%, then I only need 2 of those instead of 3 of those, and that means I only need 8 staff instead of 12 staff to support it. So that's the only real advantage of having this. Now, what I'd like to do, or what I would obviously like to do here, is build sort of a big consolidated build for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay. Here. But that's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea to build a big consolidated build. Because because it would then require more people, and I don't have those people. And I also need someone to work on the mines. So here we have something on the outside. Whoa, that was definitely too big. Don't want that here and here. And we'll build that on the other side. So that is just going to be a little build here. Actually, I think I want to make it 1 bigger. Just sort of makes sense to have it 10 big. But I'm not going to, again, not going to build it. But just going to pretend that it's built, and maybe eventually later it can be expanded. Right, so at this point, I just need to hook up the iron and the copper. We do have new miners here. We have some new ones here. They require 5 people instead of 3 people, but they're twice as fast. So they are, by all measures, better. However, if we look at it, this one only needs 1 every 32 seconds times 4. So that's 1 every 8 seconds. And this one is large iron mine is producing how much again? This one is producing 1 every 1.6. So this one can feed all of that. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Then we are also going to need to have this go past this. So we do need to make sure that they can actually go past here, and also there and there, so that they can go in on the other side. And the same for the copper is also going to be this exactly the same issue. We are needing, the copper is only here. There's only 1 every 32 seconds times that. So that's again 1 large copper mine. It's kind of wasted to do it this way, but we'll do it. And then the aluminium comes all the way down here. And then we'll get even less aluminium, I think, because that's only going to be for 1 every 80 seconds. That is a pathetic amount, but hey, it still needs something. And there. And now we just need to hook it up, and of course also get some what is it called? Get some sand in there. Yeah, let's also get a big sand miner. Sand miner is also not needed very much. It's 1 every 60 seconds, so I think 1 single sand miner down here would be just fine. There. So we've now built the roads, and we have things operational. We should be making things here. Yep, they are working. The question is whether they can send out enough trucks. That's another little issue that I don't know. I don't know how many trucks this one can send out. I know that there's well, I think there's a finite amount of how many trucks they can send out each one. So if they have too long travel distances, they're just not going to get there. For example, this one. So even though this might be enough, oh yeah, I did this for fixing that line. It might be necessary for us to build a second one, just because just because it might be the only way to get enough trucks to actually go where we want it. That is not powered, so we'll just get this powered. From here, this little windmill can feed 2 of these. They take 9, and this one produces 20, so it's all good. No need to drag long belts over there. Looks like things are coming in. Oh, why did I do that? This is like the most irrelevant thing I've ever built. Well, probably not the most irrelevant thing I've ever built, but you know. And there. All right, so this is slowly working. We're missing a little bit of sand, but I think that might be a sand truck. It might be. So now we need to make a train station. So we're going to make the train from here to here and then see how that works. We need to have a lot of steel, so that's very nice. We should make this one and call it computers. And we should call this one city and then call it computers there. Because that's what it does. Let's go to here and then get the rails. So the rails, well, they are directional. So I can go from here. And then what I want to do is I want to, and here, this is going to be a big surprise to you. I am going to make it into a grid shape because you can just drag it here and it makes them really nice curves. We don't like nice curves. We want to be able to control exactly what we do. Okay, that's a nanotube factory. Go. And I'm going to bring it a little bit up, 4 meters up. It doesn't cost much, so why not? And then we're going to be doing these little tight turns. And then we're going to be figuring out how to get up here. So let's look at the direction. This is inbound. Okay, so we're going to get maybe something like this and then drop it down, in and turn. Something like this. And then, so I can't drag it from the side because it'll only drag one way. The question is whether I can, yeah, no, I'm going to take, see, I can't drag it that way either. So I'm going to go, yeah, and then a turn, and then over here, and then go down, yeah? You, and then go up. Nope. Ah, well, at this point, I think we get the point of how this will be matched together. So now we have a simple train line and it costs about, I don't know, 600 steel. Very simple train line, back and forth. You can also say, like, is it really necessary? No, it's not necessary. So it's just good. Now, what will happen now? The thing is, as far as I can tell, this thing, because now it identifies that there is a path between the iron mine and whatever over here needs iron. So it can actually generate an iron delivery that goes into the train, goes up here, and drives back out there. That would suck, but it could generate that. So we want to make sure that we prevent that, and we do that with districts. So we're going to draw a district around this area here. We might as well just take the whole thing because that's kind of where it is there. And then we're going to make some small districts for these things out here. That one. This thing here is going to be a district, and this thing here is going to be a district. And this thing over here is also going to be a district. And then we just drag it in. So this one, it looks like a little ship, that aluminium. So that is only going in here. The sand from here is only going in there. The iron from there is only going there. And the copper from there is only going in there. That means they will no longer go anywhere else. And anything that's not identified on a district arrow can go anywhere with anything from anywhere. Great. What did we get? Oh, we got fertilizer factories and more advanced meals. That is great, but not relevant until we get some computers built. Let's have a look at the computer factory build. We're just not getting enough. So we actually need to double up our computer build. That should still be necessary, or it should still be feasible with our available things here. Oh no, I bet you saw that. Alright, so we have now fixed this area and everything should be working again. It just takes a little bit of time to start up. So what we need is, we now need to look at this, and then we should be, like, ideally at least get enough computers for where we are right now. We are just, if we look at everything, okay, there's a slight surplus here. There's There's a slight surplus everywhere, but that also means that when we start upgrading our city with more population, then everything will need to be upgraded. That's going to be a little bit of an issue. Let's look at a train line, because this will not actually work. I'm just going to make a train line, and how it works is super weird. Well, it's very simple. It gets the job done, and when you look at it and go like, yeah, I kind of guess that's it, because that's it. There we go. It just goes from computers to city computers. It doesn't say anything about how many or what it brings in or how long it waits. It's just that they just go between these two locations. How many trains do I want? Just a single one, I guess, because it's going to be generating quite enough. And then we'll now generate. It picked up 4 computers, because now it will identify anything. Now it'll just basically treat this as a connection. So anything can flow from here to here or from here to here will be brought into this location. Now what you see here is any demand that's generated here, like there's a lot of demand, will then be sort of pushed over to this and pushed in here, and then that will be sort of interpreted as demand in this location. So this will drag all the demand. It will not be like Factorio, where you set up these to export to this one with a belt, for example, and then it just fills up the station. That's not how it works. It is the pull from the city that pulls in here, that then generates the 92 here, and then will be picked up. There we go. Now that train will go up here and unload at this location with the first 92, and then we'll hopefully see that we get stuff expanded. Okay, we are seeing, where's the train station? Oh, the train is coming in. It can carry 400, I think. So having, 400. So it has a pretty damn big capacity for transporting, at least compared to what I'm doing now. Generally later it'll be bigger. There we go. Look at all these little trucks here. They all want to go that way. That's funny. No one wants to go the high-speed road. They all want to go like a different one, but it's all fine. They will spread out. Like, look at this. Look at this. That's actually really cute. So here we go. We will now get. Let's see, where are they going in? We're getting 1 computer, and they start consuming the computer. Yeah, computers degrade, and you need new ones regularly. There we go. We should start seeing habitats popping up and get to next level habitat. That would be excellent. And when we do that, then we also get a little bit more housing. We've been managing to stay pretty well below what our housing needs. So that's something I think you really have to make sure. It's kind of like Ixion, where if you get them overworked, then bad stuff happens. It's not very flexible in the way that you can get that. There we go. Habitats are upgrading left, right, and center. Of course, the ones that are closest to the train station. Somehow not these up here, but they're coming. Maybe that's actually weird why these are not getting them first. You'd kind of expect that they were fastest. There we go. Research completed, and we have a beautiful city here. Now that is a sort of request for the next thing we want to make. I'm going to keep this thing reserved for a city. We do have now a new stadium, which is gigantic and awesome and useless. If we look at these, then they will need a good meal, home robots, and culture. Culture, that's the stadium. You get culture from a stadium, apparently, to get that updated. So that's going to be sort of our next job to get there. The good meals themselves don't really do anything, but that's going to be a prerequisite for us to move further. So we want to get sort of those things done at the same time. But the question is then, is that important at this moment? I don't think so. I think I want to be just completing the computer build and completing this build, get this stacked up so that we have a computer supply for all we need. Let's see, none of this is red. That's good, but is it close to red? Yeah, it's close here. That's still good. And over here we have the iron is good. Okay, and districts, I don't know what that actually, like, doesn't change anything even though I have something that's restrained by district. Cool. Home depots are good. Oxygen is easy to scale up. Water is easy to scale up if you look at this. Home appliance and computers, parks are easy. And there we go. Okay, so water and oxygen, food, survival food. Survival food is, whoa, that's actually kind of borderline. So let's add a little bit more survival food down here. And then we can also just scale up a little bit more on our city here. So our city has been expanded and grown quite a bit. We have a lot of people available, about 500, 400, and we have researched more stuff. I wanted to actually show that we researched the yellow signs. Let's look at how awful the yellow signs is, because man, is there a big jump here. So we get 1 every 120 seconds, but that would require us to make 10 motors per 120 seconds. If we want to look at let's have a look at what it would imply, and then just see how we would build this thing here. It's definitely something that we need to sort of figure out if this is something we need as a distributed or as a end-to-end. Like, what I mean by that is this is kind of end-to-end. So we have, when we take the steel plant, we have it next to the iron, next to iron ore mining, and next to the carbon production. So this will be here, but the question is, will I then make the motor factory next to this, or will I just say I'm gonna build a big steel facility, and that big steel facility will put it onto a train, and the train will then go over to make the next part. So let's have a look at ratios here. In order for us to make, we're gonna completely ignore any productivity gains right now, just because this one makes 1 every 25 seconds, so it will make 5 in the time that this needs to be done. So I'm going to take 2 of these for 1 of that. There we go. Again, ignoring any synergies here. We also have methane. Oh, there we go. We just unlocked methane. Nice. Methane drill gives 1 every 10 seconds, so this is easily here. That's probably not a good place. Building not placed on resource deposit. All right, we're gonna have to find out where the methane actually is, and maybe bring it over. But let's see. Just we need 1 of these for the one of this. This is easy. Then we need 1 green science. The green science is on a what cycle? That's on a 60-second cycle. So basically, we can make 2 of these for 1 green science. Yeah. All right, let's do that and make motors as well. That's not a motor build. Motors are somehow under circuits. It's really weird. So this is the ratio. This one is still producing 1 every 10. So every 120, it'll produce 12. 5 in here, 5 in here. It's all good. Now, the next part is, if we want to feed this part, then this is going to be taking every 24 seconds, it needs 10 steel, 2 steel. Then if we look at here, how is that coming along? That is every 16 seconds, then it produces. So if we have, let's say we have 3 of these, like that. After much advanced calculations and many scribbles on back of napkins and envelopes, as is custom, I have found out that if this is making 2 every 16 seconds, it's going to make 3 every 24 seconds. So it's going to be 1-to-1, even if this one has some synergy. And then the question is then, do we want to then say, what is it like? That could then be over here. These ones were also defined as being 1-to-1. So that's going to be like the whole process inbound here. It's going to be something like this. We could also just look at it from the other perspective, and just look at it from a green as well, and say, if this is also going to be taking a green inbound, then I'm going to take 1 green inbound. 1 green inbound takes 3 every 60 seconds. That's going to be 1 blue inbound. So because that's 1 every 20 seconds, goes in here, and that's good. So then we just need on top of that 4. Let's see. I'm going to move that here. Yeah, a little bit away. So we can see that they're slightly different. This one doesn't need anything. Needs some iron, some carbon. That's just fine. This one needs... Actually, hold on. This one is producing 1 carbon every... Okay. I mean, it's all good. Let's just do a full system here without the ore. So that's the carbon taken care of here. This is going to be 1 unit. This one will be getting some sulfur. We just mine it, and some electronics. That is 4 electronics every 60 seconds. This one is 2 electronics every 32 seconds. That's pretty much the same. That's 4 every 60 seconds-ish. There we go. So this is going to be a unit. Now, the question is then, how do we want to make this? Do we want to make the whole thing? It's also kind of clear that this will only give us 1 every 60 seconds. So this idea of having this much here is going to be absolutely massive build. And the problem is, when we build a massive build, we're going to use the resources immediately, and we can't afford to do that. So first things first, we are, oh, right, by the way, it's not actually as simple as this, because this will only get us 1 yellow science. If I want to get, when I look at the science, it will require 1 yellow, 1 green, and 1 blue. That means I have to add an extra 1 of each. So extra yellow here, because that is needed for, why do I say yellow? An extra green 1 here, yes. Let me move that out and get these out here. There. And then we also need another green to feed that. There we go. So those, oops, those 2 greens feed into the 2 green circuits into the green science. Then this green science will also need a blue science to as a supporter. And then I'm also going to get another green science, because I also need to, for the science, make 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 yellow for all of it. And that means also the inputs will be a little bit different here. That also means I need to get 3 of these here and move that up there. Now that will be a collective science deposit for all unlocked highways. Thank you. For all we want. Is that daunting in any way? Yeah, I think it is a little bit daunting. It's definitely something that is, it will need nothing inbound, need some iron inbound, carbon is taken care of, some sulfur inbound, and some copper inbound, some more iron inbound. And over on this side, we'd also need some methane inbound. And this one will just take some more copper inbound. Copper is also here. And then also some water inbound. Oh yeah, we also need water. But water is just a pipe, so that's a one-time investment. Cool. Now that, I think, is a good opportunity for us to design and build that next time on a train line, so that we can sort of get the train. We don't actually need the train anywhere, because this is just going to be what I need to make sure is that it is a completely scalable build, so that whatever we do, we can move it on to the next. We can expand it further out, and this is pretty simple. Like these ratios, I can just make it as lines down here somehow, I think, and then we'll get it. And of course we need to figure out where the hell the methane is, but that's going to be a little bit of another headache. That goes here, and then we can get these 2 in here. It'll basically be lines like this, and yeah, so yeah, it's going to be really weird, right? It's going to be a little bit weird. We'll figure it out. So that's going to be a little headache, or that's just a little teaser for what we want to build in the next episode. Build a really big, scalable, expandable design for science. That's absolutely must. Oh, by the way, this part here is already starting to use our use jobs, which is not great. What is great though is this city here. It'll need home robots, which are damn complicated to make. It needs good meals, that's not that bad, and needs culture, which is the stadium. Stadium is the easiest thing to place. It's just going to take up a lot of space, but having it is easy. Look, checking up here on this part, the radiation shield, it's just super slow. I don't know how we would want to get this faster, but it just seems like this is going to be taking forever to fix that ship, like a really long running campaign. Power is pretty good at this point, so no worries there. So we're going to be wrapping this one up. I'm super happy about what we built in terms of this little factory. Let's have a look if things are lacking. Ooh, look at that, the computers are lacking. If only we had built this in a modular way. Just click random stuff. There we go. I have built it in a modular way. So the only thing we need to do is, in order to scale it up, is just make this one here. See, this is the point of making designs like this. Okay. There. That one. Just place it correctly the first time around. That's much easier. Yeah. Down, and up. So that should be done, and then maybe we'll get to a point where we need more up on this 1.6. No, that's definitely enough. We'll see. So that will increase our production of everything. The train will keep going, and oh, look at that. It downgraded. It downgraded because it didn't get enough something. That's not good. Aluminium is not enough, and sand is not enough. I wish we could sort of see what it is that's not enough. Yeah, computers are not coming in. That's kind of what we knew already. So let's get more aluminium and just... So there's just a lot of things, a lot of small things that need to be done here just to keep this up. And this is one of the things that's just going to be a little bit frustrating, because you can't prepare things. You have to... Wow. Have to... Oh, wow. That's interesting. Congratulations. Level 4. That is a good place to be. Interesting how it decided that it was going to be an up. There. That's not an up. There. And... So we did actually need this one upgraded. Cool. And in this case, maybe we also need a little more sand for this one. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be fine. So with that, let's wrap this one up. If you are interested, let me know, and I will gladly continue this series. But if there's no interest, I will just leave it on the wayside and focus on other things. I think this has a lot of potential, but there are some things you have to be extremely careful about, and that is primarily all the population management. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.